And by tightening the forend, it'll mean that the gun is tighter to open and close. Now, what I'm going to show you will look like, it'll look like I'm showing you the wrong way of doing it, but what I'm going to show you is the way that everybody tightens a forend. Even London people, even the Spanish, the Italians, everybody uses this method to tighten a forend. And it's done with a punch. And it's very, very simple. And it'll last for a while. But the forends will come loose again with use. They always do. Take the wood off the forend. Now, to tighten a forend, you punch metal up where the forend iron presses against the back of the loop. There. Now, what you do, you put that on, and it's right where the back of the forend slot pushes against the forend loop. That's where you punch metal up forward, so that the back of the forend iron is pressing harder against the back of the loop. Now, the people who made this gun, they didn't think of the guys who were following behind them, because the distance from this front screw hole or pinhole here to the back of the slot is no more than, it's barely 1/8 of an inch. So if I punch this metal up here, I'm going to be punching some metal backwards as well, which might mean that this pin here might be tighter going in. It's a bit slack, but we'll give it a try. It's the only thing we can do. You don't weld the back of these forend slots unless the forend is absolutely rattling, very, very loose. So what we do, I've brought with me, if I can find it, a punch for that job. Here we go, I've got it. Now you can all have a look at this later on if you want to. I've had it for donkey's years. If I lost it, I'd go into mourning. I'll tell you, it's an old friend. Now, it's hard on the end, and what you do, you just get a big hammer, position this behind the end of the slot, and give it a whack, a good whack. Now, I'm going to give it more than that too. Right, what you're doing, you're punching that metal forward. Now, this will make the gun harder and harder to open and close, and make the forend tighter. There we go. Okay, let's tighten the forend. Now, you mustn't make it too tight so it's too hard to get the forend on and off. Otherwise, you'll have a guy moaning at you saying, "I can't get the forend off." And you see, a lot of shooters are not as strong as you are in the hands. You see, they work in offices. All they ever do, they don't do work like we do. So the poor blight just can't get the forend off. Which reminds me of a certain guy years ago in Birmingham. He was a checkerer, and his father had been a checkerer before him. That's all he ever done was checkering. And he told me, he said, They used to do checkering for the London trade, for the London gun makers, and he said if they cut up the checker nice and sharp, they get complaints from London saying that the checkering was too sharp and it hurt the gentleman's hands. Because you see, the guns they were, the guns that they were making, you see, were made for gentlemen who didn't do a day's work in their lives. Poor buggers have got hands like women, you know, soft and so. And I quite believe him too, you know. Put it on with the wood on. Here we go. It's his tight. You have to push the catch down. But again, you know, if you too damn tight for me and all. Okay, pull the catch up. There you go. If you made it a bit too tight, no problem. Just ease the back of the loop. Okay? But it's better to have it too tight than too loose. What do I do with it? Okay. I ought to have some soft jaws for this, but if I'm careful, I can get away with this if I don't squeeze it up too tight. You mustn't squeeze your barrels up too tight. Okay. And just hold him there and just with the end of a file, just ease a little bit off the back of the loop, right down at the bottom where the forend iron fits. And you'll find that you don't have to take much off. And you can also polish that to the surface with a little bit of emery cloth, if you wish. Now, you can also put a little dab of oil on it. That always helps. Just a little bit of lubrication. Just a dab of oil or grease. Right. But again, with a bit of shooting, it'll come off on and off now easy. You still have to push the catch down, but there you go, off it comes. So that's about right. It'll ease up. That catch will go down much easier after a bit of use. So there, you see, that's a useful repair.